Hello everybody, I'm Lorii Abela, your Soulmate Expert and Asian Matchmaker. Welcome to tonight's episode of Matchmaker Secrets, where we talk about love, dating, and relationships, and of course, matchmaking. I am here today to talk to a couple of ladies who's representing Chicago dating. So we all know that we want to find out what's going on in the Chicago dating community. So that's the reason why we invited them here. So we have our guests Nefertiti and also Christine. So maybe you can tell us more about yourself so that people can know like how's your romantic life been going.
My romantic life hasn't been going at all.
Oh, okay.
I've been trying, but it's been at a standstill.
Well, my romantic life, I'm trying to go the traditional route as we talked about earlier. It's lonely. There are like dates, but they're far and in between. So
Okay.
we're in the same boat.
How would you describe the dating scene? As far as like what you're trying to do.
Dating scene, me personally, I'm in real estate. I'm always out. I'm always at an event. I'm always at a restaurant or a bar, or just like meeting people, talking to people. People want to date, but they want to date selfishly. So, when I'm out, you do meet a lot of people, you exchange numbers, but nothing ever really pans out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could define the dating scene in Chicago with one word, it would be rancid. It's not really fun right now. I've gone on a few dates in the past few years, and each time it just feels like it's getting worse because, as you said, people are kind of dating selfishly. Each time it's more of people thinking more about themselves and not really of the other person and what they want or what they desire, but without taking into consideration what the other person might want as well. And there's a kind of balance there that is no longer there. Like, it's gone completely, and so for that reason, the dating scene just feels rancid.
No, because I have a niece who's getting married. So this is in the Philippines, but he met somebody from France. So they met on a vacation. But the interesting part about that is because I asked the mom, so how did he pick this guy among the other men? And then according to her mom, is that this guy is much more better than the other person or whoever other people she has dated, because the same thing they were talking about, selfish. So this one actually thinks more about her and cares more about her. So I think the bottom line is that women just want to have somebody who's going to be able to take care of them, not selfishly just thinking about themselves all the time. So how does it manifest when you say selfish? So do they have certain actuations that they do? They just talk about themselves? How does it work? When you say selfish.
In my world, not willing to modify their schedules, the communication sucks. Zero communication skills. And when you do confront them, if you're not in a, what did they say, exclusive relationship, so you have no right to confront them on bad dating behavior or poor communication skills.
You know how in movies or TV shows or books, sometimes they'll surprise you with things like they'll get you flowers, they'll plan out a nice date for you or something. They're not doing that now. They'll just show up and it feels like you have to beg for those things, and I refuse. I absolutely refuse to beg for those kinds of things. And I suppose that wanting those things can be communicated, but shouldn't it also somewhat be an expectation as well? Shouldn't I be treated well if you want to date me? And so a mindset that I've been going into recently when thinking about dates or just talking to people is, if they don't meet a certain standard, I'm like, no, because my future husband would never do this to me. And so that's been really helpful in just dating in general, because I would always do so many things for all the people in my life, and to just also have selfishness in that area, it was driving me up the wall a bit. because you won't even try to like adjust your schedule a little bit for me, or try to like squeeze in some time or just do something to make my life easier when I would and have done it before. That's kind of where it is in the whole like selfishness of the dating scene.
Okay, all right. No, because like I'm trying to figure out, okay, so there are 5 love language. So it seems like there's nobody who has, among the men, there's nobody who has interest in quality time, because like, or even acts of service or giving gifts, because like they don't want to extend their time in order to do something for you, and they don't want to even give you gifts. So what is remaining? Oh, okay, physical touch. So I guess that's the priority, because like they're falling in the other categories. Okay, all right. Now I realize. Okay, that's that's where everybody falls into. Okay, so aside from this, are there some other unique challenges that you face while dating here in Chicago?
From what I've seen online, like on social media, a lot of people just seem to be having the same problem around the world. I even saw a TikTok video, I think it was yesterday or sometime earlier this week, and the person went to London and they were on Hinge and they said, see, it's not even just your city, it's everywhere. And they had the same prompts that they were reusing, and they saying the same exact thing and acting the same way. So it really makes me wonder if they're like Chicago specific problems or just the world.
Yes. And to piggyback on what you said, I believe it's just a world problem. The social media, where you feel you can go online and DM someone while you're dating, or go underneath their picture and put hearts and lovely faces and kissy emojis. And then the person you're dating sees that, and it's like, you disrespectful little, bad online etiquette. It's a turn off. It's a major turn off for me, at least.
Yeah, and then that's excused because you're not exclusive, or you didn't define the relationship.
As you were saying, there's no etiquette and there's no manners. Like, it made me wonder as well, like, when you're talking about it, like, not too long ago, I was inviting people to my event. I have a singles event, and the funny thing is that I invited somebody, and then maybe a month later, this guy messaged me back and said oh, I'm interested with you. I was thinking like, okay, that's hilarious that after a month he's gonna tell me that he's interested with me, and then I told him like, I'm sorry, but I'm already married. Maybe, good luck with you with your, whatever you're thinking about, for a relationship for yourself. And then like, are you sure? Like, at this one date, I was thinking like, okay, so where's the mentality of people? He has gone, to the dungeon. They're not even thinking, what are they saying? I'm surprised. Like, I'm not sure why is it like that. Like, where are the manners that their parents taught them? And so, like, you're the same thing. Like, you said that, in the movies, the romantic movies, like, it's the man who's doing the chasing and they're doing something else, like, in order to please the girl, like maybe buy some flowers, or like even like not flowers, just, simple gifts, or like, taking them out, like, it doesn't matter if it's expensive or not, but, at least they have the effort in order to show something like, being loving and caring. But, it seems like, all of those are gone. So, I know that, you have been married before, and then like you're only in your 20s. So do you know if there's an impact about age in your dating experiences and expectations?
Well, a lot of women, I think when they hit 30, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a husband, I don't have a child, my life is, oh my God, I'm going to be an old maid. I don't look at age. I'm like, be the hottest version of yourself, and you can compete with any woman of any age. So that's how I look at it. And yeah, just be hot.
Okay.
That's a good way to look at it.
As far as like, you have some values that you have generated from your parents. So are there any modern dating practices that, deviate from your what you've learned from your parents?
I think it's just the lack of effort. when I was hearing about my parents and their entire romantic journey, they'd have effort, they'd help each other study, like they'd cook for each other and do all these nice, sweet things. But no one is giving that same level of effort and energy now until you have a certain label, and then you have to work towards that label, which it just has too many steps and too many layers. Like nothing is seamless anymore. In every area of getting to a relationship, it somewhat feels like a test as well. So I'm like, not only are you being selfish, but you're also not putting effort into it. And it also feels like you're testing me at some points, which is just not what I've heard from a lot of people that I know from older generations, and certainly not what's in the movies as well.
I guess, like, we should have a campaign. All the women, we should be distributing candies to the men so that they can be sweet somehow. Spread some sweetness to them because there's no sweetness. Oh my gosh.
Good idea.
Sweetness.
And so
Yes.
I was just wondering because, like, if that's how you feel, so do you think there are women who started to chase men? Because, like, you were saying that, women have been scared that they're going to be single alone for the rest of their lives. So I was wondering if there have been women who have been chasing men doing the opposite of, like, being, chase upon, be the chaser though.
Oh my gosh, it's disgusting. Yes, they're chasing men. They're like cooking 6-course dinners at their house for the first date. They are going to men's home and cleaning on the second date. Like they are chasing. And they're also dealing with, the fidelity. Like, oh, well, wait, is that the word? Hopefully fidelity. Like, oh, well, if he flirts or if he cheats twice a year, I'm okay with that as long as, he comes home to me. I'm like, I'd rather mop the ocean to deal with that. So yes, women are, and then they're taking they're taking us out of our feminine, like our goddess mode. So they're chasing.
And then they're settling on top of that. Because that's something that I've seen even like my most beautiful like friends. I'm like, really? This is who? Because they'll be all the way up here and everything in looks, intelligence, they're funny, they have everything together, and then the person that they're not even officially dating is down here. And it's in so many of my friends, and it's really sad to see, but reality.
Yeah, it sounds funny, but it's sad. So, but the thing though is that, I don't mind that they're actually, like, settling for somebody who's not that, attractive, but they are being treated like a queen. I don't mind that because, like, if they're being treated
Yeah.
like a queen, like, you cannot replace that with anybody else who's good looking and then they don't
That's
do
true.
anything.
That's a good point. I like that. That's very true.
Okay. Learning much more over it. No, I'm just reading them in Facebook, but then I was thinking, like, what's wrong with this women or what's wrong with this man? And so, by any chance, are you also a member of those, like, are you dating the same guy? I think there's something like that, like, uncensored something.
I am a part of it. And I didn't join because I was curious if any of the people I was dating someone else. I was more curious about the stories that were coming from it. And also just seeing how many people those things happen to. It's crazy that a group like that has to exist in the first place, because why are so many people concerned that their person is dating someone else? It was just, yeah. For now, I have had no concerns of anyone that I've been dating doing that because I'm very specific with who I go on dates with or even talk to, but it's just sad that a group like that exists and that sometimes they are speaking to the same person or have gone on dates with the same person. It's very disheartening.
I understand that, it's nice to have notification, but the problem is that, it's funny because, like, it seems like it's the same predator all the time. Like, they're going around different women. And so, like, obviously, probably the women are not filtering them as well, probably to the best that they could, because, like, why would they actually have met and then posted that particular person over there in the first place? They didn't know how to choose.
It's embarrassing.
It is to be one of those women like, oh, I've been dating him for 8 months and post his photo and didn't, like, find out he's really a scumbag, but you probably knew he was scummy. That's why you posted him based on his behavior, you know. It's difficult.
No, I feel sad because, like, sometimes I read and give advice because, like, it's just like out of generosity. Like, okay, might as well give some advice because, like, they're asking for it. So there are some people who are asking about the opinion of a certain person. And then the funny thing is that they are already pregnant with the guy that they're complaining about. I was thinking, like, okay, that's weird.
Yes.
Like, it's too late, the hero, in order to be actually, doing something because the damage has been done. Like, it's not that we're not, like, bashing them, but the thing though is that, well, I hope that, somehow there will be a solution to it because, like, it's very sad that this is happening to a lot of women. Like, they're being taken advantage. And then, like, at the same time, like, it's not just the women who are being taken advantage of. Like, I cannot complain. There's some also, like, men who have been taken advantage of. Like, it's both ways. And that's the, sad part about that because, like, it's a victimhood. Like, one time I was talking to one guy. He's a professional soccer player, and he said, like, he has been married to somebody who's a narcissist. So it doesn't matter how big you are or, like, what is your physique. You can actually be even be a victim of somebody who is, like, a narcissist, even though you are, like, supposed to be tough. So it's both ways. Like, men and women can be a victim of this kind of situation. And yeah, we're just discussing this because, like, for those people who are watching, so you can have an alert. Okay, where am I picking well? Am I picking the right person? Or, like, am I actually, like, doing my due diligence in order to set down some boundaries? Because, like, the idea of just, settling down for somebody who's not even at par, to your inner needs, not necessarily your, the physical aspect of the person, but their inner needs, like, to be loved and respected. Like, that's important. Okay. I'm feeling disgusted about this conversation, but, we have to, inform the people because, like, it's not, just you who is being affected by this. It's many, many women who are affected by this. So if this is happening all over the world, like, at least, like, we have some imparted something, so, somehow, like, they can have an idea, okay, I don't want to be that. So you have to set the boundary for yourself and then, like, stop being a victim of something. And then come to think about it, in some states, because we're talking about this is a worldwide problem, some states, like, abortion is not even allowed. And so imagine that, like, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are very conservative, but, obviously, like, we cannot stop those people who are actually interested with taking care of their whole life or moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was just wondering, because you said earlier that you have also met some people in person. So how do you approach online dating versus meeting people in person?
I don't know. There's more adrenaline involved because online you already have that expectation. Like, we may go on a date when you swipe right or you respond to something, but in person we see a stranger and then it just feels like you're like 5 years old. They're gonna write down something like, "Oh, this is my number," haha, then you like run away. So it has like a different feeling to it, and there are less expectations and higher stakes, I feel, in person, because if it's a stranger, you might not see them again. But then if it's online, there's already so much information about you on your profile. But at the same time, I feel like you can just kind of swipe by that too. So it's like just the feeling of a rush of adrenaline versus, oh, okay, it's happening.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have another friend. She's in Germany. No, she's in Italy, but, she had met somebody from Germany, and so, like, because online, they're far away, like Germany and Italy, and so they kept on messaging each other, and so then when they finally met, like, okay, that's the end of it. But the thing though is that, too much invested emotions as well, because, like, there's hope. So yeah, it's a matter of also like, figuring out, okay, how quickly can you meet each other? Because like if the person is not showing up like, okay, I want to meet you soon enough, then like, you're just dragging the emotions of both people, like the men and the women. What are your thoughts about the future of dating now?
The future.
Gosh, that was heavy.
I honestly feel like at some point, because so many people that I'm friends with, and then also what I just see online, like there's going to be some type of revolution or something, or people are just going to stop using the apps because everyone is like, I'm sick of this. So like something has to change.
So do you think like, there will be some women who are willing to do that? Because like, they're wondering how they can find somebody. But, the immediate thinking of people is like, okay, application because everybody's doing it.
Like I've seen a lot of people bring back mixers or try to have singles events to make people meet other people. But then there's always a ratio difference of a higher quantity of women to men. But I feel like that's going to start coming back a little bit more just because everybody is kind of complaining like this app is just like this app and everyone is just not looking for the same thing anymore. So in that case, I think there's a revolution of sorts or some type of big change coming.
Yeah, I've hosted singles events as well. And then it's interesting because like, I always praise the men who come and show up over there because they're willing to, step forward and do something rather than like, be hiding in the online applications and not doing anything and just wait for, like Bumble. Bumble is the women are the one who are approaching them, right? Like, they just waiting for the women to be actually communicating with them.
Yeah.
I just hope that there's hope with this situation. But I really wish that there will be some reflection among young generation because like this is the future of the world. Like the younger generation. Like and imagine like. There's a lot of divorce and then like imagine like some people are not even thinking about having a child or even getting married because like they want to be safe because like that's their safety net, like they're thinking like, okay, if I don't have a child and then my husband leaves me, like I don't have anything to be worried about. Or sometimes like they don't want to be even married because they think that, okay, they might just be deserted or something. So yeah, I there's a lot of trauma involved as well in every woman. And so like this is just like a conversation that we want to impart to everybody, like choose wisely and also like use protection as much as you can because like even in that arena, like men are just doing what they know they like. So it's not like complementing the interests of women sometimes. So I think conversation is very important because like what happened is that sometimes you said they don't even converse. So like if they can actually express themselves and then like you can talk about the same level. Yeah. So I think like for my tip for you is like look for somebody much more older so that they're already matured already. It doesn't guarantee that they're already matured, but the thing though is that at least they are more likely rather than the 20s who are not even it's questionable whatever they have going on, like because like at 30 something, like 35, they're already like probably much more stable with their career. Then you just have to catch up, like, their emotional level of when are they ready. Because, like, if the person is unavailable emotionally, you cannot just be pushing them. Stop chasing men. And then, like, don't ever think about, okay, you can handle situationship because, like, in the end, you're going to be just the victim.
Yep.
So thank you so much, ladies, for, sharing your time over here. I'm sure that, there are a lot of people who have gathered a lot of information which will be helpful for them to reflect upon their own relationship and actually respect their body. Because like
Absolutely,
it's very important that you should respect your body, respect your boundaries, and there's hope out there. You just have to be able to know what to select. This is not just for the women who are victims, it's also the men who are been victims. You want to make sure that, there's a mutual respect going on in both sides, and so that, we can have a much more better future, not only for, ourselves, but also for the other people in the world. Well, thank you so much again, ladies, and then we'll see you again. If you are an expert in love, dating, and relationships, we want to have you over here. And if you are single and you were wondering how to navigate life and love life, we want to have you over here as well. And then if you are in healthy relationships for many, many years, we would like to have you over here. You can share your nuggets because, the young generation needs your help in order to figure out how to navigate this. So I see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.